What's up, guys? One of my loyal subscribers asked me to react to this one. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson loses his mind. Let me know what you guys all think in the comments down below. A lot of people don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They've said he's the biggest a-hole ever. You know, Joe Rogan, a lot of people have said that, guys. So let me know what you all think. And yeah, guys, is he crazy or not? I think when his points get, debunked, he starts to lose his mind because he can't handle it, guys. So let's get it.
Let's stay on this topic for a little longer because I maintain the reason people are interested in humans traveling in space is because they can die. That's what makes it interesting, and you want to see if they're going to die.
But NASCAR.
What?
I thought that was NASCAR that you're talking about.
But I find. But let me ask you a question. I find it. Okay. Well, I'll ask you this question. When I see a picture from the rover, I'm more excited about it coming from the rover than if it came from an astronaut taking the picture, because the astronaut's using a camera, but the rover is taking it's part of the rover.
Let me tell you why that's probably not true, even though you think it is.
Okay.
Most people don't know that there were robots as well as rovers on the moon while we were first going to the moon. But you didn't know anything about those, because the media focused on the astronauts, and it's the astronauts.
Well, yeah, obviously, there's robots on the moon. Everybody knew that. I thought that was kind of given knowledge. A lot of people knew that there was robots on the moon with them as well.
Through which we gain vicarious access to space, because they have mouths, they have brains, they have a childhood memory, they have school teachers that can talk about those astronauts. And I've yet to see a ticker tape parade for a robot. So I submit to you that if at the same time the Curiosity rover landed, if at that same time a human astronaut landed on Mars, you would have known nothing about the Curiosity rover.
Yeah, but
it would have been relegated to page 30, and the front page headlines would have been humans put footprints on Mars. And it's that force which will bring less science than the robot that has a power of influence on our culture that inspires an entire generation to want to do the same thing. My generation, when you ask my fellow scientists, should we send humans into space? No, that's too expensive, send robots. Yet I said, well, how did you get interested in space? Oh, because of the Apollo program. And I slap them. I'm saying, what are you...
No, that's it. No, there would
on the other hand, if you remember, if Apollo 13 hadn't been the dramatic failure it was, they would have canceled the rest of the Apollo. They canceled 3 of the last missions. There were three Saturn V rockets lying on the ground around space, around the country, because it was so interesting that they abolished the last 3.
No, that's delusional, and I'll tell you why.
It's not incorrect.
That's the fact.
No.
You can argue with the facts.
Watch me.
Okay.
So he's saying they only send people to the moon because that, is a cultural thing. Like we could get a lot more information from the robots, but the people, they just want to be up there because it's cool that we're there, whatever.
So,
bro, I am not a fan of Neil deGrasse. If everybody is against him, he kind of looks a bit silly, but we're going to hear what he has to say. Guys.
I'm sorry. Everybody mentioned their book. It's time for me to mention my latest book.
I don't think anyone mentioned their book, actually.
My most recent book is titled Space Chronicles, but that wasn't the original title. The original title was Failure to Launch.
But
The Dreams and Delusions of Space Enthusiasts. And the publisher says, that's too depressing. You can't have the word failure in your title. But that's what it's about. What you just said is a complete delusion. It presumes that we went to the moon for science. It presumes that we went to the moon to explore it. But that's not why we went to the moon.
Brother Neil, no, it is not. No, it is not.
We went to the moon because we were at war. Sputnik was not just some orbiting spacecraft. It was a hollowed out intercontinental ballistic missile where they took out the warhead and put in a radio transmitter.
Oh yeah, I know a lot about this. So obviously they're talking about the space race between Russia, and I actually incidentally know quite a bit about this. Guys, yeah, that is one of the reasons why they went to the moon, is to beat the Russians, but they could have just done it in a... We don't even know is the moon landing real, because a lot of people contest that. Oh, is the moon landing real? And a lot of people say they did go to the moon, but they just have no footage of it, and the footage is fake. And whether they went to the moon or not, guys, it was a race for sure, guys. I actually kind of agree on him. I agree on him a little bit here, because there's no real need to go to the moon. Now there is, because they want to do, like, you know, interdimensional space travel, interplanetary travel. Elon Musk wants to put people on the Mars and stuff like that. That's a little bit different, but at that time, guys, they just wanted to beat the Russians, I believe. I don't know, was it to do with actually exploring the moon? That is actually a big contested point, and that's a very good point, actually.
The military knew this. That's what founded NASA. NASA's budget for science has averaged over all these years about 25%. The rest has been for geopolitical purposes. All right?
That's a good take, guys. I'm not mad at Neil deGrasse Tyson for this. Let's see what the comments say before we go. Very refreshing to watch people debate with respect for each other. As manual work, Neil has helped me understand what science doesn't need this kind of enthusiasm from science. It requires it. I'm very happy to see Neil's passion on this. Yeah, so actually, I kind of agree with him, guys, honestly. You know what I mean? This is one of the points I do agree. You know, at the time, you know, he says, you know, it's only about 25% for actual science and helping the world get better. It's mostly, you know, just for their geopolitical gain, to help the countries look more alpha. You know, we made it to the moon first. That's a really good point.
So it's the I don't want to die driver in this world. That's why we spent all this money. And so the moment we learn Russia's not going to the moon and it's certainly not going to Mars, we cancel the program. It had nothing to do with public interest.
Very, very true. That's extremely true, guys. You can't really argue that. Now, a lot of the Americans will argue that, oh, we're doing it for science, and it's not true, guys. You know, they do it for political gain and to look more like we're the big balls. You know, it's more like, you know, dick measuring.
Okay, now let me. It is a. Let me try.
I got to pull back.
Yeah, you got to come in. But it is. Let me try and bridge that gap a little bit.
I'm going to be silent.
No, you're not. I think it's really important to point out that this is a political issue, and in fact, me and Buzz Aldrin together testified before the House Science Committee on Space Exploration, and when I said that humans don't do science in space, I didn't argue, in fact, even before the committee, that we shouldn't send humans into space. We should just say honestly why we're doing it. We're doing it for adventure. That's why we're doing it.
No, that's not what funded it.
Hold on.
No, that's not true.
See, you said you wouldn't talk.
I did say.
Okay.
You can say that.
No,
but
hold on.
There's no there. Okay? No. Just look at the history of everybody doing big projects, and it's never driven by exploration. It's never driven by science. It's never driven by curiosity. Not if it's big and expensive. It's driven by the fact that people don't want to die. So there's a war driver. It's also driven by the fact that people want to get wealthy. So
hold on. We have the Large Hadron Collider. The Large Hadron Collider.
Do you know?
Oh, no.
For all you beta males out there that don't know, this is just joking around, guys. They're obviously, you know, very passionate about their stuff. I get very passionate too, guys. And people take that passionate for like aggressiveness and stuff because they're betas. If you guys get passionate about stuff, you'll piss off the betas, but you know who you won't piss off? All the alpha males. They'll understand. These guys, you know, these guys understand what's going on. They're alphas, right?
Welcome. Just proves my point.
The Large Hadron Collider. Please remind me of the total construction cost of the Large Hadron Collider.
I don't know, about $10 billion.
About $10 billion. That is 6 months of NASA funding. So you call that big budget? Not here in America, it's not.
Yeah, NASA's budget's about $17 billion. Doesn't go as far as it used to.
No.
So it's expensive, but not on the scale that we're talking about here.
Okay.
The country shared that. That's not big money.
Okay.
Big money is A shuttle mission costs $1 billion here.
Like, they have missiles in America that cost like $1 billion and stuff. It's, bro, the money to like the military and stuff like that is just nothing. They spend what, trillions a year on military, so a few billion here and there isn't really anything, guys.
I'm not saying it should cost that, but that's what it does. And who writes those checks? It's people who do it for geopolitical reasons.
Yeah, they sent $200 billion to Ukraine to fight off Russia. So it's like a proxy war. They do these things on purpose because America does these. If you don't think that, then you're clueless about history and politics and stuff like that. It's clueless.
Not because they care about science. Our super collider, the one that you would have benefited from, the superconducting super collider, started to get funding in the 1980s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
200-mile ring. It would have been
60-mile ring.
60-mile diameter. The circumference.
60 miles around. Yeah.
I thought it was 60 times.
Well, take
pi.
it from me. It's 60. No, it's 60.
Okay.
Better
Circumference
story
is
with
60 miles?
200, though.
Brian,
60.
60.
Circumference?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been saying it wrong all these years.
Well, like
Never
a lot of
mind.
things.
Thank you.
Never mind.
Okay, no. So watch. So here's a super collider. America would have found the Higgs boson decades ago. All right. So what happens? The budget gets cut for reasons. Oh, the cost overruns. Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah.
It got cut in the early 90s. What happened in 1989? Peace broke out in Europe. All of a sudden, the physicist, who was the hero of the 20th century for making the bomb, is no longer viewed as necessary to national security. And so the project gets cut like that.
Actually, you got it wrong. The project got cut actually for even sillier political reasons, which was the Texas congressional delegation voted the wrong way. And
If we were still at war, that would have never come up.
It's also the International Space Station, right? I mean,
Yes, that's true. That's the top story. The bottom story is we don't longer think we're going to die.
Yeah, that's really it, bro. That's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that before. So basically what he was saying is like, do we do it for actual to help humanity, or are we doing it? That's kind of like a conspiracy. Like, people would call that like a right-wing conspiracy, but the guy, because NASA was founded after the Nazis and stuff like that. That's a fact, guys, right? All the scientists, like 3,000 scientists came, or 10,000 scientists, Americans brought to NASA, and they kind of made their own kind of, place where they do interplanetary travel and things like that. Very interesting, guys. Very interesting, guys. I love that, guys. And honestly, he's right there, guys. I don't really agree with a lot of the stuff that he says. A lot of the stuff that he says is like whack when he talks about how a plane doesn't glide if the engines fail and stuff like that, which it does. It doesn't just drop down because of the momentum and stuff like that. He kind of doesn't know a lot about, different stuff, but he does know a lot about, the political reasons behind it. And I believe that definitely he is true on that one, guys. Let me know what you all think. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.